Are you feeling guilt or shame in your life? This is the video for you. In today's video, you're going to learn how to overcome the feeling of guilt and shame with these 3 tips so that you can live your life the way that you want to. Hi, I'm Banatia at Quantum Upgrade, guiding you towards your original state, physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. As an energy healer, I've had the privilege over the years of helping numerous clients to overcome their deep emotional traumas. And if this is something that you're interested in, I'll be sure to give you more details at the end of this video. But before we get to that, be sure to subscribe to my channel and hit that little bell so that you can be notified whenever I upload new videos. I know that you know that energy is everything and it's everywhere, and that energy cannot be destroyed nor can it be created. Energy can be transformed. I also know that you know that energy is the creative effort of vigorous exertion of your power. So keeping that in mind, we're going to learn how to overcome the feelings of guilt and shame. What is guilt? Guilt is defined as having committed a breach of conduct, especially violating the law and involving a penalty. Have you committed a breach of conduct with someone, or with yourself, or with the universe? Have you committed a breach of conduct physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, with yourself and with others? Guilt is also defined as a state of one who has committed an offense, especially consciously. That means it was done on purpose. They knowingly did what they did. What have you done on purpose, knowingly done to yourself and to others, physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually? What about shame? What is the definition of shame? Shame is defined as having done or experienced something dishonorable, disgraceful, or foolish. Have you done any of those things to yourself or to others? So how do we overcome these feelings? Remember what we said earlier, that energy is everything and it's everywhere, that it's always in motion, and that energy is the creative effort of vigorous exertion of your power, and that energy cannot be created nor destroyed. It can only be transformed. So energy is what emotions are. That's why it's called emotions. Energy in motion. The energy that you're feeling, the energy of guilt and shame, is in motion because there's something that is required of you. There's something that you need to do. So what is that? You need to acknowledge it. You need to take responsibility for it. Let's just stay focused on the self. Let's stay focused on the breach of conduct that you have done with yourself. Whatever that might be, that is something that you need to acknowledge to yourself. You have to ask yourself, once you acknowledge what it is, what are you thinking about? Like, what is it that you're saying to yourself about these feelings that you're having? Because really, whatever it is that you're saying to yourself is generating whatever it is that you're feeling, and in turn is generating what you're thinking and creating the images. It's like a big circle. And on top of it, once you acknowledge it, you have to ask yourself, is this thing that you are feeling, is it something based on something that's real? Like this guilt that you're feeling, is it based on a real experience that you've had? This guilt that you're having, or this shame that you're having, is it an actual experience? Most of us are having these feelings and we don't even know where they're coming from. Most of us aren't even aware that some of these feelings are generational. These are feelings that have been passed on to us without us being aware of it. So basically, the first tip is to acknowledge all those things. And it really requires you to sit down and go deep within. And that's the thing that most of us fear. We fear having to go deep within because we might not like what it is that we are faced with. Number 2, can you make amends? Can you clear it? Can you do something to make amends to either the other person or to yourself? What if the person, or what if the thing that you did, what if the breach of conduct that you committed was against yourself? If anything, that's where you would start from. You have to start from the self, because once you're able to take care of the self, then it's only easy to take care of all the other things. And how do we make amends? Well, see, that is an individual thing. However, it will require you to actually think about whatever it is that was done. You see, let the, as they say, let the punishment fit the crime. All right? And I'm not saying that it's a crime. I'm just saying that whatever it is that you are feeling guilty of, you are punishing yourself. You are meting out the punishment, and you have judged yourself as the guilty party, and you have sentenced yourself to whatever punishment mentally and physically and emotionally. You are literally meting out the punishment. So can you make amends? If you can met out the punishment, then you can definitely sit down and think about what it is that you can do that you can do to make amends. And in making amends, that means you really have to feel deeply about this thing. You have to be really sorry. And if you are truly sorry, that means you are never, ever going to do that ever again. You see, a lot of people, they just give lip service. Oh, I'm sorry about this. Oh, it's never going to happen. But guess what? They turn around and do the same thing over again. And that, to me, is not being sorry. That is just like, it doesn't mean anything. It has to have meaning for you and for the other person. And I have to tell you, that's going to be a bit of a challenge. And if the person or whoever it is, they have to be open and willing to accept it. And if they're not, you have to be okay with them not being okay with it. You just got to be okay with them not accepting your amendments. You have to be okay with them not accepting your apology. I know it's hard, but that's kind of how it is. We all have these filters that we have energies go through. And so when that happens, we just have to be accepting of it. That's part of growing. That's part of being mature. That's part of learning how to let go, is to understand that, what it is that you're hoping will happen may not. So can you forgive yourself? That's the third thing. Can you forgive yourself? A lot of us, we hear that forgive, but nobody really knows what that means. So this is my take on what I believe, or how you can forgive yourself. Remember about energy. It's emotion. You can transform it. It's the creative effort of vigorous exertion, meaning that you're required to do something. Now, the word is forgive, right? Well, let's switch it around. Let's switch it to give for. This is an individual thing, and I can give you a whole list of things that you can do. However, whatever it is that's within your spirit that lets you know that this is what I want to do, this is what I want to give for. You could be volunteering your time, you could be helping somebody, just to do something for yourself as well as for others will help to make amends, will help to forgive, will help to overcome the feeling of guilt and shame. Now, once you're able to follow through and actually take care of the emotional feelings of shame, or the emotional feelings of guilt and shame within yourself, and at that point is when you can actually take that energy and extend it to outside. Who did you commit this breach of conduct with? It could be another person. It could be to the universe. I mean, think about it. It's having committed an offense, especially violating the law and involving a penalty. Now, when I'm talking about the law, we're talking about man-made law. We're not even touching the universal laws that we are all in breach of. I mean, after all, there really is only two emotions that we are all experiencing: love or fear. That's it. Love or fear. Just think about it first. We're either operating from a love-based emotion or from a fear-based emotion. Every other emotion is just an offshoot of love or fear. Ask yourself, in the last 2 months, what operating system have you been running on? Is it love-based or is it fear-based? Leave me a comment below. Write either love or fear. And there you have it. 3 tips to help you on how to overcome guilt and shame. Number 1, acknowledge it. Number 2, make amends. Number 3, forgive yourself. Now, if you're still struggling with overcoming the feelings of guilt and shame, and you are now ready to have professional guidance with me, head on over to my website, www.quantumupgrade.com, and click on Sessions and select emotion code and read through the pages, and all the way at the bottom click either book now or let's chat, and we'll take it from there. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and share it with others. And remember to subscribe to my channel and hit that little bell so that you can be notified whenever I post up new videos. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.